That's one area where Sony is crushing Canon. The A7 III, this mega pack house of boom, 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 shaka-laka-laka goodness right here. What up, YouTube? My name is CJ. This is CJ Knows Tech. And right now, I'm finna get into my camera bag. Yeah, I know we usually talking smartphones, Bluetooth. Matter of fact, it's all tech, player. What I wanna talk about today is the Sony A7 III. I wanna talk about a minimum of five. I might hit a couple bonus ones in there, you know. Reasons why the Sony A7 III is better than my Canon EOS R, which I'm shooting this video on right now. I recently made a video saying how I'm starting to fall more in love with my Canon EOS R over my A7 III, but I also wanna put this video out for balance. It's a little bit more complicated than that. Reason number one why this Sony A7 III is definitely better than that there Canon EOS R. Do I have to mention it? Come on, man, it's the 4K. Excuse me, it's the 6K down res to 4K that comes out of the sensor. Super butter sharp images, video. It's just mwah. You know what? That's a part of me that I don't know if I could ever part with. When it comes to shooting some super crispy client videos, you know, you're trying to work with brand deals and everything, why not go with the 4K, quotation mark 6K, use that super crispy footage and allow yourself more play on zooming and playing with the angles and the framing, because you got all that room. You can drop that in 1080 timeline and just get nuts with it. That's one area where Sony is crushing Canon. Canon has 4K, but it's 4K crop. More so like APS-C 4K. A7 III hands down is the camera you want to go with if you're shooting 4K. Now granted, you can get some 4K, you know what I mean, a little get down with the Canon, especially if you hook up the Atomos and just bring out that 10-bit, it gets nuts. But you gotta account for the crop. You don't have to do that with Sony. Reason number two why this A7 III is better than the Canon EOS R, it does 1080 at 120 frames per second. Now I know the wind is going, player, just deal with it. 120 butter smooth slow-mo at full 1080. Now granted, when it comes to the Canon, you're restricted to just 60 frames per second at full 1080 HD, and then you gotta go down to 720 for 120, which I don't even understand what Canon was doing. There's the speculation that Canon's trying to protect their higher end cameras and so forth, but I don't understand why Canon would charge more and not give you more, as Sony charges less and gives you a lot more. So that's reason number two. You get to get some of that nice crispy super slow-mo. Like I shot some slow-mo on the EOS R, but I have to deal with 60 frames per second, so it's not gonna be as butter slow smooth as I could possibly have if I would have just hooked up the A7 III. Now that I think about it, I might do that. The third reason why this Sony A7 III is crushing the Canon EOS R, I don't know if you guys can see it, but if you look at this body right here, man, you look at all those buttons, buttons for customizing. EOS R has some great buttons on the outside and on his body that you can use, and they all have function. Also has other ways of using the touch screen and a little slide touch sensitive thing. These are physical buttons. Custom 1, Custom 2, Custom 3, Custom 4. 3 custom buttons. I mean, what I'm talking about? 4 custom buttons. So I can have 4 buttons that I give custom settings to. So every time I need to make a quick adjustment, it's just boom, boom, boom. Like literally have the A7 III set up to where all of my adjustments are super quick, easy, fast. Oh, I need to punch in for a quick APS-C if I want to get in Super 35 mode, press one of these custom buttons right here, boom. The amount of custom buttons that you get on the A7 III in comparison to the EOS R, it's a lot more, you know. And I think for those who are just running gun and maybe you were more physical and tactile as opposed to touching and sliding and so forth, you might want to side with the A7 III in that. Right. Reason number 4 that this A7 III is a beast over the Canon EOS R is the 5-axis IBIS, in-body image stabilization. This has stabilization in its body. And my Canon EOS R, it does not. It only has digital image stabilization, but I have a lens, which is the lens I'm using right now, the 16-35 f4, which has image stabilization. And I find that combo to be comparable and it works just fine. But if I take that 16-35, which I'm gonna do at a certain point in this video, and I put it on here, I got in-body on top of lens stabilization, which is just all the way smoothing out the footage. We're gonna see, we'll test it out, we'll see. All right, so right now I'm shooting blind, but I'm using the 16-35 f4 Canon lens, the IS, you know, the boy, on the Sony A7 III body. So this is one of the inconveniences about shooting on Sony is I'm completely blind. I don't know if I'm in focus. I don't know if 4K face tracking is working right now. I have no clue because there's no flip out screen. But we are able to test this in-body image stabilization along with the lens stabilization. So right now I'm getting that I should be getting pretty smooth butter stabilization as far as me just getting out and trying to get some like vlogging type footage. So in theory, this should be a far more stable setup. The unstable part is the fact that I don't know what's in focus, what's in frame. I'm getting hit by bugs, you guys. So if you see me swinging and swatting and flinching and jumping, yo, they aggressive out here. This setup is crippled by the fact that there's no flip out screen. So I have no clue of the picture, the image, the framing, or anything that I'm getting. I just have to hope and pray that once I'm in post, that everything came out nice and smooth and footage was captured, everything was in focus, my face was in focus, it was a nice wide shot. That's what we're hoping for. A lot of people say that Sony's 5-axis image stabilization isn't even the best. It's not that good. It's a subpar. A lot of people say that for the 6500 and the same for the A7 III. Reason number 5, and this is subjective compared to your work, but you're gonna get more battery life out of the Sony. In comparison, it's rated for more shots and stills and so forth. So it's a higher rated battery. I don't know if I notice a difference because for my use, either way, if I'm using both of them, I'm getting great battery life. Always have multiple batteries anyway, no matter what camera you're using. I highly recommend that. Now, a bonus reason I'm gonna bring up, now granted, this has changed over time with sales and so forth, but the retail of the Canon EOS R is $2,300 when the retail of the A7 III, this mega pack house of boom shakalaka goodness right here, is coming in at $199,999 across the board. Sony came right out the gate with the Super A1 price point. Now Canon, yes, they have sales. I was able to grab the EOS R at $199,999, which is part of the reason why I even grabbed it, because then it became comparable, and then it's like, okay, I could grab it and I could compare these, you know, apples to apples at about the same price point. The Sony, for the body, you're paying a lot less and you're getting a lot more. So that's where the A7 III stands above the EOS R. And I'm gonna stop at those reasons. There's a lot more reasons. If you got other reasons that you could comment down below to let other people know who may be shopping in between these two cameras, so that way they can have a better comparison and feel and vibe between these two. Now this is an ongoing series because right now in my real life of shooting, I'm debating between these two cameras. I'm gravitating to the EOS R more, especially for like getting out shooting like this, not having to carry a monitor and so forth. Like having this flip out screen right now is just crushing it. It's killing the game for me. And there's a bunch of other reasons. You know, there's a video right here that's gonna pop, oh actually it's on that side. It's gonna pop up right now. It'll explain a little more about it. And I got more videos coming for this series. So, all right you guys, I wanted to close this video out on a stable platform. All right you guys, I wanted to close this video out on a camera that I can actually see myself. I just want to make sure I get the shot and I get the close. I did do a closeout on the A7 III. If it's butter, you'll never see this. If it wasn't, you saw this. This is beautiful, baby. This reminds me of that Cali, LA weather that I missed. Right now I'm on, obviously, my EOS R in a video that I'm talking about the 5 reasons why the A7 III is better than this camera.